Welcome to In the Zone. Yeah, it has been a while, but hey, I'm back. And you know when I come back, I always come in loaded with lots of information. And one of the things that seem to keep rearing its head is Ja Morant. There's not a week that go by I don't see nothing in the news feed that has something to do with Ja Morant in it. And it's like the anticipation of the suspension. How long is the suspension going to be? When is the suspension going to be handed down? Why are they taking so long? Just get this over with, please. I mean, there's a lot. And then there are some other things that we'll probably hit up on in the zone, such as maybe what Ja Morant told rapper friend Moneybagg Yo after latest gun incident. And Kendrick Perkins says Ja Morant should leave Memphis Grizzlies. But here is one that is baffling. An NBA forward seemingly calls for Chris Broussard to be fired. So I gave you all the Ja Morant bullet points, but this one right here is very intriguing. And this is the one I'm going to open up with. NBA forward seemingly calls for Chris Broussard to be fired. One NBA player all wants to see Chris Broussard canceled. There goes that cancel culture again. Cancel. The FS1 host Broussard went viral this week for his latest ridiculous take. Broussard took a shot at retired Dallas Mavericks great Dirk Nowitzki in the context of a debate about Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic, calling Nowitzki overrated. Chris Broussard, I think Dirk is overrated by a lot of people.
He's ahead of Garnett if he wins this championship.
You put him ahead of Garnett?
Yes. Probably Barkley. I love Barkley. But this dude is leading a team to a championship. And his numbers are outrageous. He averages a triple-double.
How about Dirk? No.
He's better than Dirk. If he wins this championship, he's definitely better than Dirk.
Hold on.
I think he's just better than Dirk,
right,
period.
but the better than is different than higher on the list.
Dirk's got one MVP and one championship. He'll have two MVPs and one championship.
But you're not just to count the rings and the totality of the career.
I just think it's game. He's a better rebounder. Dirk wasn't a defender. Dirk scored. He averaged about 8 rebounds a game.
League history.
But still, honestly. I mean, if Jokic plays that long, he's going to pass.
Right, but that's a different. So if he's close to Dirk, so then he's nipping at D Wade's heels.
Well, that's your list.
No, I'm asking you.
D Wade's got 3 championships, and it was obviously his career was a little shorter than most, but not D Wade. I think Dirk is overrated by a lot of people. He's great, but I would put Jokic ahead of Dirk if he wins this championship, without question.
Durant?
You got Dirk ahead of Barkley and Kevin Garnett?
Yes.
Yeah, he wasn't better than
Durant, real quick.
Durant? Not yet.
Okay.
But I think when Jokic's career is all said and done, he'll be ahead of Kevin Durant.
Wow, so those were some very compelling words, but I don't think it calls for him to be fired or canceled. I mean, everybody has their take on the Joker. I mean, we're looking at him before our eyes. Now, one guy said that it wouldn't even matter if he wins. When nobody even care about it. It's not relevant. I mean, why come no one is calling for that guy to be fired? Anyway, Broussard's comments drew a strong reaction on Twitter from Kuzma. The Washington Wizards forward responded by seemingly calling for Broussard's job. Kuzma, I'm going to tell you, like some other NBA stars have been told, shut up and play basketball. He says, can we take people off TV, wrote Kuzma. Like this is so bad for our sport. Broussard is pretty much on an island with his opinion about Nowinski, an NBA championship MVP and 14-time All-Star who had efficiency, longevity, and a revolutionary game as an elite three-point shooting 7-footer. But by now, we should know that Broussard is an over-the-top character who is just looking to stir up controversy and draw attention to his opinions. Granted, other hot take specialists like Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith at least sometimes attempt to make good faith arguments in support of their outlandish viewpoints. Broussard oftentimes doesn't even do that, opting instead to just ignite the blaze and run. Meanwhile, Kuzma is far from the only NBA player who has a problem with Broussard. The post-NBA forward seemingly calls for Chris Broussard to be fired appeared on Larry Brown Sports. So do you think Chris Broussard's comments warrant him being fired? I mean, you heard the name Skip Bayless in that article. Stephen A. Smith. You even heard about the split getting ready to take place between Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless. Speaking of which, let's just go into that right now. Give us some more content here. So Charles Barkley mocks idiot Skip Bayless over the Shannon Sharpe breakup. So Charles Barkley mocks idiot Skip Bayless over Shannon Sharpe breakup. Given Charles Barkley has been a nemesis of Skip Bayless for decades, it should come as no surprise the NBA great is reveling over Shannon Sharpe's impending breakup with the undisputed star. One day after the Post first reported that Sharpe and Fox Sports have reached a buyout agreement that will see the NFL Hall of Famer depart from the network sometime after the NBA Finals, Barkley addressed the fallout during NBA TV's studio program of the Nuggets Heat series. I read an article today. If you work with a damn idiot, they'll buy you out, said Barkley, referencing Bleacher Report's story of Sharpe's exit. Barkley joked the idiot he works with isn't Shaquille O'Neal or Ernie Johnson on TNT's Inside the NBA, but rather Kenny Smith. I just want y'all to know I'm open to the buyout, Barkley exclaimed. Charles Barkley says he gets all his news from Bleacher Report, and he read an article that says if you work with a damn idiot, they'll buy you out. So he wants Turner to know he's open to the buyout because he works with Kenny. Though Barkley did not mention Bayless or Sharpe directly by name, it's pretty apparent to whom the dig was aimed. Prior to the news of Bayless and Sharpe's future divorce, Barkley poked fun at the duo's deteriorating partnership in January. At that time, Sharpe was agitated with Bayless for interjecting his monologue about Bills safety DeMar Hamlin, who suffered cardiac arrest during a Monday night football game. He says, "I'm sick of you, man. I'm sick of you," Barkley told O'Neal with a twinkle in his eye. "You interrupted Ernie already. Your first show of the year, you already interrupted him. Can he finish his monologue?" Barkley has said some macabre things about Bayless over the years, even once stating he had dreams of killing the TV host. On his self-titled podcast last year, Bayless said he thought of Barkley harming him has worried his wife Ernestine. "My wife Ernestine has believed for 15 years that Charles Barkley is nothing but a sick individual," Bayless said. "To her, he is just pure evil, that he is depraved, that he is a scumbag, and she fears that one day Charles will somehow inspire some other nut to end my life. And this haunts her. This hurts her, because she believes that in the end Charles Barkley would have my blood on his hand." Wow. Exactly. The things that go on with these TV talk show personalities. Tell you what I'm going to do. To get some sanity back to this show, I am going to take a break. When I come back, we'll get into some more sports topics. We'll talk Ja Morant and anything else interesting. So stay tuned to In the Zone. This is yours truly, Anthony Smith. Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. Welcome back to my next segment of In the Zone with Anthony. And yes, there is a lot going on. A lot of off the court stuff going on for sure. Like I said, we're going to get into some Ja Morant, but that last segment, I was talking about Barkley making a mockery of Skip Bayless and the apparent breakup coming between Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless on Undisputed. Well, how about he is being recruited already? You knew this was going to happen. And one of the biggest names that's recruiting him, Stephen A. Smith, makes public ESPN offer to Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is set to become a high-profile media free agent, and he is already being recruited by one of ESPN's biggest names. Stephen A. Smith said on his radio show Friday that he was happy to support Sharpe in whatever the outgoing FS1 personality chooses to do next. Smith added, however, that he would love to have Sharpe on First Take and that ESPN's bosses are aware of that.
And that I don't know what his plans are. I don't know what he's trying to pursue. I don't know what he's after. But if Shannon Sharpe needs me, I'm happy to be here for him. And if that included him wanting to come on First Take, the bosses at ESPN know that is something I would support.
So Stephen A. has spoken, and the bosses already know. I just want to be able to be interviewed on one of these shows. Just to get, I don't even need 5 or 15 minutes of fame, just 5 seconds of fame. Anyway, he says, I don't know what his plans are. I don't know what he's trying to pursue. I don't know what he's after, Smith said. But if Shannon Sharpe needs me, I'm happy to be here for him. And if that included him wanting to come on First Take, the bosses at ESPN know that is something I would support. Sharpe is set to depart FS1 within the next month, most notably in his role alongside Skip Bayless on Undisputed. The show is very similar in format to First Take, where Smith and Bayless were sparring partners before Bayless moved to Fox Sports. While nobody has confirmed it, things do appear to have turned sour between Sharpe and Bayless, which may have contributed to Sharpe's departure. Smith is without a permanent debate partner on First Take and has been since 2021, when he essentially pushed Max Kellerman out of the role. The post Stephen A. Smith makes public ESPN offer to Shannon Sharpe appeared first on Larry Brown Sports. So that is the contributor to that particular story. So, if Shannon Sharpe makes the jump to ESPN, who would replace him on Undisputed to go alongside Skip Bayless? even me being a Dallas Cowboy fan, like Skip Bayless, would not make me want to be a partner of his. And that ain't funny. That ain't no joke. I mean, Skip Bayless has said some bonehead. I mean, how is Skip Bayless even still on the radio? I mean, to me, sometimes the guy is a moron, idiot, doesn't have a clue, and you let the powers that be allow him. He says some things that if somebody else said it, they'll probably cancel them. I mean, you got NBA players, like I said in that first segment, talking about they want Broussard canceled just because he said Dirk Nowitzki is overrated. Well, that's a far cry from what Skip Bayless said during the DeMar Hamlin. Want to know how could they call the game off as important as the game was. Dude, a dude's life is laying in a balance, and you talking about playing a darn football game? Oh no, I'm not going to never let you forget that. And we as people that listen to these talk shows and watch these shows on TV, we should never let Skip forget that. Because if anyone else makes such a boneheaded statement like that, you're probably ready to remove him off the air. So I don't know what it is about Skip that he has so many privileges that he can say moronic, stupid, idiotic things and still be allowed to be in the role that he's in. I get it. Sometimes it's about the ratings, and maybe he does push the needle on the ratings. But still, come on. Sometimes you have to be held accountable. And I don't think he should be above anybody to where he shouldn't be held accountable for some of the stupid, idiotic, moronic things that has come out of that pie hole of his. Yes, I have said it. And yes, when I put my descriptions in, when I write my descriptions in the box, yes, I'm going to hashtag his name. His name is going to be hashtag. Now, may we get to some Ja Morant news now, because there are reports that hints at potential length of Ja Morant's suspension. It is no secret that Memphis Grizzlies guard Ja Morant is facing a lengthy suspension after flashing a gun on social media for the second time in 3 months. While the NBA has yet to announce any specific time frame, a new report is offering a possible hint. NBA sources told Sam Amico of HoopsWire that the expectation is for Morant to be suspended for at least the first half of the regular season. Now, when this first happened, one of my things was maybe suspend him for half the season, if not the whole season. Of course, now there's more to the story. It says NBA sources told Sam Amico of HoopsWire that the expectation is for Morant to be suspended for at least the first half of this regular season. Depending on the league's finding, that could prove to be just the minimum. So it could be anywhere from a half season to 3/4 of the season to the whole season. Morant received an 8-game suspension during the regular season for flashing a gun, and even met with Commissioner Adam Silver over the incident. The meeting with the commissioner made it even more disappointing when Morant did the same thing again in May. Repeating the infraction after meeting with Silver is why a much harsher punishment is likely coming. Silver hinted prior to the NBA Finals that the league has uncovered plenty of information and are close to a final decision. That the league is not announcing it now for fear of upstaging the finals suggests it will not be a slap on the wrist, and it shouldn't be. I mean, you have to be held accountable. So, what did Ja Morant tell rapper friend Moneybagg Yo after latest gun incident? Well, let's find out. Rapper Moneybagg Yo believes his friend embattled Grizzlies guard Ja Morant will snap out of this recent series of troubling events. In an interview with Complex last week, the 31-year-old rapper spoke about his past and a conversation he had with Morant, who was suspended from all team activities by the Grizzlies earlier this month after he appeared to again brandish a firearm in a video on social media. He said he's 23. I feel like it's just a phase, Moneybagg Yo said of Morant, who was embroiled in a similar gun controversy in March and suspended for 8 games. When I was 23, 24, I was just doing stuff and people had to tell me I had to bump my head and God had to teach me a lesson. I'm grateful to make it out from those situations. Some people don't even shake back from certain situations. But I feel like Ja probably don't even know like what it is right now. Like he probably don't even believe this is life. You have those stages. Moneybagg Yo added he also offered encouraging words to Morant, who could potentially face a hefty suspension in the wake of the latest gun-related incident. He says, Ja going to snap out of it. And of course, I gave him encouraging words. He was like, I appreciate that, big bro. I got you. I'm going to get it right, the rapper said, according to the Daily Mail. Morant addressed the ordeal in a recent statement to ESPN saying, I know I've disappointed a lot of people who have supported me. This is a journey and I recognize there is more work to do, Morant said via ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. He says, my words may not mean much right now, but I take full accountability for my actions. I'm committed to continuing to work on myself. So all we can do is hope that he has, as they say, learned from the errors of his way, because what we're looking at is someone that's looking at probably squandering a lifetime of fame and fortune over some costly mistakes that could very well have been avoided. So, what else is there? Well, here's some more news. This is also centered around Ja Morant. Kendrick Perkins says Ja Morant should leave Memphis Grizzlies for his well-being. The Memphis Grizzlies have seemed like the most promising young team in the Western Conference for the last couple of years, but it doesn't look like that anymore. And Kendrick Perkins, everybody knows who Kendrick Perkins is. He's always getting into it with somebody. I'm pretty sure if I cross paths with him, I'd probably get into it with him too. Just saying. And Kendrick Perkins has now advised Morant to consider moving away. He says it might be best for him to get out of Memphis and go to a different organization for his well-being. Memphis is a city known for crime issues, and Ja Morant being around that is not ideal for him at the moment. As one of the faces of the NBA, he cannot afford to be constantly in trouble off the court. And the locker room has also lacked veterans, which are necessary to guide their young stars, meaning another organization might be better for Morant. From a basketball perspective, it can be argued whether Morant should leave the Grizzlies or not, but his behavior has not improved despite multiple warnings during his time with the franchise. This is not a good sign for Morant's future, and as such, there are certainly things that both he and the organization will have to think about. Adam Silver's cryptic message suggests that Ja Morant is in a lot of trouble. Ja Morant flashed a gun on Instagram for the second time recently and is likely to cost him big. There was talk of a suspension. There was talk of a suspension lasting half the season or even the entire season. While it's hard to say what the punishment will be, the NBA commissioner's recent comments don't make it sound like a good result can be expected by Ja. We've uncovered a fair amount of additional information. We probably could have brought it to a head now, but we've made the decision that it would be unfair to these players and these teams to announce their decision in the middle of the series. I don't think we yet know what it will take to change his behavior. Adam Silver also emphasized the need for Morant, Grizzlies, and the people around him to create better circumstances moving forward. Ja Morant is one of the league's most exciting young players, but the focus for him for now will not be on basketball, but on how he can improve his behavior off the court. We sincerely appreciate and respect you, and they really are looking to get Ja some help. So tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to pause and take another break. And when I come back, I'll have some more for you. So don't you dare go nowhere. Stay in the zone with Anthony. Appreciate your listening ears. Welcome back to In the Zone, my final segment. And as we speak, NBA Finals game that just went final. We have a series tied up. In essence, the Miami Heat has taken home court advantage away from the Denver Nuggets with a 111-108 victory. That's right, you heard it right here on In the Zone with Anthony. And what will probably most likely be my last segment. Apparently, a three-time NBA champion is reportedly joining the Boston Celtics coaching staff. The Heat are the 8th seed. On Sunday evening, Game 2 of the NBA Finals is taking place between the Denver Nuggets and Miami Heat. And as I just alluded to, the game just ended on a Jamal Murray missed three-point shot attempt that would have sent the game into overtime. The Heat are the 8th seed and defeated the Boston Celtics in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Despite trailing 3-0 in the series, the Celtics were able to force the 7th game but could not finish the comeback. A lot of attention was on head coach Joe Mazzulla, who is the youngest coach in the NBA and was in his first season at the helm. Despite being in the conference finals, the season was a disappointment due to the fact they made the NBA Finals in 2022. Before Game 2 of the NBA Finals, Shams Charania of The Athletic and Stadium reported that Mazzulla added three-time NBA champion Sam Cassell to his coaching staff. Charania's first tweet: Sam Cassell has agreed to join the Boston Celtics coaching staff under Joe Mazzulla, sources tell at The Athletic and at Stadium. Charania's second tweet: Cassell spent the past 3 seasons as a lead assistant for the 76ers under Doc Rivers and now returns to Boston, where he was a member of the 2008 NBA championship team. Cassell was a talented point guard who averaged 15.7 points, 3.2 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.1 steals per contest while shooting 45.4 from the field over 993 regular season games. The 2004 All-Star had stints with the Houston Rockets, Phoenix Suns, Dallas Mavericks, New Jersey Nets, Milwaukee Bucks, Minnesota Timberwolves, Los Angeles Lakers, Los Angeles Clippers, and Boston Celtics. He was on the Celtics when they won their last NBA championship in 2008. The 53-year-old has been an assistant coach for the Washington Wizards, Los Angeles Clippers, and Philadelphia 76ers. So there is the news on Boston adding a 3-time champion to their coaching staff. Hopefully that will help them get back to those Eastern Conference Finals and get over the hump. No, I'm not a Boston fan, but I do have a little bit more respect for them as an organization now. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed listening to In the Zone, as I must bring things to a close. But until the next time, take care of yourself and each other and be blessed. Hope you enjoyed being in the zone with yours truly, Anthony Smith. I'm out.